Hello, welcome to the MetroCloud. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get to the report screen and create a raw report from the data. In this app, I have a custom app with a town's lift station. It's one of several lift stations that has some useful data. So let's demonstrate that. You need to find a way to get to the report page, and there might be a button on some of your screens, but ultimately you can go down to the page menu, pull up list, and choose reports. The report page is in about 6 steps. Starting on the upper left, number 1, the report type you choose, the tags you want in your report, the reporting period on the upper right, the number of previous periods, which is for custom things you won't need to deal with, where the report is to go. You can choose to a text file, CSV file, comma separated values. We're going to choose plain Excel file, also screen display, and we don't use these options either. So there's only 3 that we really need to focus on, 3 or 4. For most water and wastewater operators, a lot of these reports are not as useful. And if you make a mistake, some of them can get very large. Actually, the first video I did, I erroneously had a whole year instead of a month of daily snapshot. I had to redo it. Standard report, maybe hourly, total hourly snapshot, perhaps. But we're going to do the daily snapshot. A daily snapshot is just going to show you a kind of a spreadsheet row line item of what all the values were at that time every morning, let's say at 8 a.m., which is what a lot of operators would like to use for a EPA weekly or monthly report, if you can imagine. I've chosen these 9 tags for the report, saved them in a group for later reference, and I loaded my group thusly. I called mine test group. The sequence that they're in is kind of important. If you make a template, I would just leave it sorted alphabetically, but you could choose some of the entries and move them up or down with these arrows right here. Also, to generate your tag list, this app has upwards of almost 1,000 tags here, and I chose some random ones that I found useful. You can pick one, totalizer, which is a gallon totalizer, which we like, and I move it over into the list, as you saw I did. Or you can choose one and move it back. If you wanted to save that extra tag, now there's 10 in the report, we'll keep it at 10. You can save that group, but you can have your MetroCloud integrator representative help you out on how to set up that over the phone. The reporting period is very important. What we want to do is select an initial calendar day and then a final calendar day to encompass all the entries in the report. Now, a snapshot is just going to give you one spreadsheet row per day. So for some of those reports, I like to choose like the day before the end of the month or the beginning of the month, and then the day after the end of the month. That way you could subtract the gallon totalizers from the day previous, and then you can get the day after to encompass all 30 or 31 days of the month. So you may have some random dates left over in here, so you kind of have to choose the start and end time. Here I'll make my end time, I'll start with that one. 2019, let's say that's July 1st. And that time, you just want to make sure that that time is beyond the time of the initial start time. The start time is when you would have the exact timestamp, so that's the most important one. Here I'm going to, as you see, I had left over 2018. That's too far away, so I'm going to choose, pick the calendar, and run ahead here to May of 2019. May 31st, actually. So it's going to give me so this should encompass all of June. I'm going to choose 8 a.m. so I can either type in an 8 like that. It didn't take. Slide your mouse over and type in 8. Or you can actually use the up and down arrows. I'm going to bring that back to 8 a.m. Okay, so I'm starting on May 31st, going through July 1st. That's pretty much everything in June. Starting at 8 a.m., I'm going to have like 33 entries or so. Custom report, yes. Leave this blank. I'm outputting it to a plain Excel file. And I've already typed in, you could browse to an area on your local computer in like documents and type in a temporary name, because I'm just using this temporarily. I called it June X, I guess. So once you have that set, daily snapshot, the tags you want, and the reporting period, you simply hit Run Report. This may take, a couple, 10, 20, 30 seconds. It shouldn't take longer than that. When I asked for a whole year and a half, it took a few minutes, and then I knew I was doing something wrong. Okay, report complete. So what I'm going to do is go out into my Documents folder and refresh it. And there it is right there. That's today. So I'm going to open that up. June XXLS. And this is simply what it looks like. As you can see, the timestamp and the date, I'm at 8 a.m. This is what the figures were. If I click on one, so there's a totalizer for 4th and 24th. Here's a gallon totalizer for Annixter. Avenue C totalizer. Here's an actual wet well level at the dog pound. And this is what it was at exactly 8 a.m. So you ask, what can you do with that data? Well, we can copy that into a sheet of a template and actually have that data move over into a more official looking template. So, but to show you how that works, if you look at the totalizer here at May 31st, there was what would be 3,819,000, and then every day it advances a little bit more. It looks like they use about less than 100,000 or pump less than 100,000 a day at this site. What I do, as I was saying, is I would simply copy all that, right-click copy, and I happen to have another spreadsheet open, and I would paste it into this spot. Let's say this is some other data from this is for a water system, but similar data, some elevated tank values, some pressure values, some totalizer values that increase further gallons. And then sheet 1 is the actual EPA template that you would send in. And as you can see, it moves over the time and the day from that other sheet. You would have to custom make this template. So if I were to be looking at the reading for May 2nd, it references C5 in sheet 2. So if I look at C5, 71330, that's referenced right here. And then you would subtract that with a formula, if you know how the formulas work, C6 from C5, and that result winds up in, well, I've ruined the formula, but anyway, that result winds up in that cell as perhaps 1 million gallons. And then you would save that template under a unique name. Let's go back to the report generation, and that's about it.